Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss a very important poem of Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope is basically a satirist of his age, where he used to use the didactic or ironical way of expression to tell the truth of the society. In this poem, likewise, his masterpiece, The Rape of the Lock, he criticizes the nature of man, because man claims everywhere to be omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. So satirically he comments and he dictates the man not to try to be God. In these lines, the poem, it is a part of his famous one, Essay on Man, written in 1733. And he says, the proper study of mankind is man. The poem has been entitled, The Proper Study of Mankind is Man. Through this poem, he passes the satires. He satirically comments on the character of man, as he claims everywhere to be, because he wants to investigate the very existence of God. So through this poem, through these lines, he invokes the man. He says, hey man, you do not need to scan, you do not need to investigate the character, the very existence of God, but rather you need to know first yourself. You need to find out your own existence. What are you here? What you have come on the earth for? What have you come here on the earth? Know then thyself. Then he says, O men, first identify yourself. First know your identity. Realize your identity. Identify yourself. Inquire about self-weighing. Investigate your own self. Presume not God to scan. And you don't claim, you don't even think about the investigation of God. Why do you want to go after him? Why do you challenge his existence? He is always there and he is at his best place. Don't bother about him. Don't worry for him. He is in his best possible way, staying where he should be at. So he says you don't need to inquire, you don't need to discover the existence of God, because you think that you are going to invent everything, you are going to discover everything, and you challenge everybody. The proper study of mankind is man. Very philosophically, he has assured, or he has advised the man that whatever you need to do, that is nothing except the proper study of yourself. Means you need to study yourself. You need to explore your own existence. You need to know about yourself. Placed on this isthmus of a middle state, he says man is like a pendulum. Neither he is standing at this left side nor east side. So he has used a very good connotation here. He has taken a word isthmus. Basically this word, a geographical term or geological term, you can say it. Isthmus is a shape of the land that connects two islands or two pieces of the lands, that a connector like. So he says a man is connector between the animal world and the godly world, between the men, animals and God. So he says he connects his physical being with the spiritual being. So he says you are just like a connector, not you are a god, not you are exactly animal. Your role is different. You have been assigned some different role, and you should be abided by those rules and regulations and commands that you have been given to fulfill. A being placed on this isthmus of a middle state, a being darkly wise and rudely great. Darkly wise and rudely great. Very good figure of speech. You can see the use of oxymoron or paradoxes, like regularly irregular, the paradox, the best example of paradoxes. He says, a being darkly wise and rudely great. Even being in the dark of ignorance, he is still wise. And even being very wise, he is still in dark. Why is he in dark? Because he thinks that he knows everything and he can know about anything. That is his pride. That is his arrogance. Arrogancy. He shows everywhere that I know everything. I'm omniscient. So he says, and being darkly wise, a man is wise, but at the same time he is dark. And rudely great. He is great, but he does not digest that greatness and he behaves rudely. Means he is uncivilized in the way when he even he is great by his doings, but rude in his thinking, rude in his attitude, rude in his behavior. With too much knowledge for the sceptic side, with too much weakness for the stoic sprite. With too much knowledge for the sceptic side, the whole poem has been written in heroic couplet, and this was the style of Augustan age or neoclassical age at the time, that they used to use this kind of moral language to teach others and to didactic others. So the whole poem has been written in heroic couplet, where two successive lines matching the same rhyming scheme. With too much knowledge for the sceptic side, he has so much knowledge. And even he becomes, because of his too much knowledge, he becomes septic. He doubts everything. He doesn't easily believe on the existence of anything on this earth. He doubts, he suspects on the existence of everything. Too much knowledge for the septic side, with too much weakness for the stoic sprite. And even he is so weak that even he cannot digest the stoic spread. The stoics, here stoics mean a saint, a hermit, even because he is always away from the sense of honor, a sense of insult. So he says here, with too much weakness for the stoic's pride, he hangs between doubt to act or rest. So whenever he is basically, he always lives in a dilemma. He is never sure about doing any action. He is never sure about taking any initiation. He is never sure about taking any decisions. So he always confused. He always lives in a dilemma whether to do this or whether not to do this. Like he suffers from a kind of psychological problem which Hamlet suffered. The problem of procrastinations. He is not able to take the right decision at the right time with quick mindset. He hangs between in doubt to act or rest. Whenever he has to take decision, he always full of doubts whether he should act upon that decision, act upon that work or not, or he should take rest. In doubt to deem himself a god or a beast. Sometimes he thinks, because sometimes when he gets knowledge and he feels like that he has become God. He has become God. And he can do anything. And sometimes because of his own behavior, because of his acts, he feels like that he has become animals. He has got a middle state. Neither he is a god, nor he is an animal. So he is a middleman who by his own behavior or by doings, he can become animals, or by his own penance or by his hard working, by his good deeds, he can also become God. It is up to him. So how he utilizes it, how he uses his own potential and his own energy. In doubt his mind or body to prefer. And sometimes he is also in a doubt. He is always in a dilemma. He becomes indecisive. He is not able to take the decisions. Whether he should prefer his bodily existence or he should prefer mind. In doubt his mind or body to prefer. So he is in a kind of dilemma. He is in a state of confusion whether he should prefer his bodily existence, this physical existence, or he should think that he is just entity, embodiment. He is just a soul. He is rather a spiritual identity, a spiritual being, a spiritual self. If he takes himself as a physical body, then he might think in a different way. And if he thinks that he is not a physical body, but in this physical body his soul resides and dwells, then he can think about himself in a different way. Reasoning, but body to prepare, born but not to die. He says he must know that he is born to die. Every human being on this earth, whenever he takes birth, one thing is very sure with his or her birth, that he has to die. He says, born but not to die. He is here not only to die. Once he is born, he has to do something worthy, something something beneficial, something good for the benefit of the humanity, this whole creation, this corporeal world. Born but not to die, and reasoning but to err. He has got the reasoning of his mind, but because of those reasoning, those too much reasoning, those enormous reasoning of his minds, he happens to commit the mistakes. Because of true reasoning, if he had done the work simply, he would not have made the mistakes. He would not have committed the mistakes. But to err, alike ignorance his reason such whether he thinks too little or too much. And because of this habit, he says, hey man, because of this habit, you sometimes behave too much. Sometimes you start thinking too much. Sometimes you start thinking too little. Means wherever you need to think, wherever you need to give due time to ponder upon any situation, you are unable. And wherever you need not to think, you unnecessarily give too much time to think over that particular subject, which is of no use to you. Still by himself abused or disabused. And because of his own problems, internal problems, psychological problems, he behaves to be abused. And sometimes he himself discards his own position, his own existence, abused. Chaos of thought and passion, all confused. He is always in a chaotic position. He is not able to take the right decisions. So he says, a man, you don't need to claim to know about the God. You should not claim that you know everything about God. All these are disorders of your personality, abnormality of your personality. So first you need not to scan the existence of God. You need to scan yourself first. You need to know yourself first. Confused, still by himself abused or disabused, created half to rise or half to fall. Frailty. The God has made him not to fully rise up and not to fully fall down. So he is in a middle state where he, because of his own doings, because of his actions, he may go up or he may go down. How to fall? Great Lord of all things, yet a prey to all. He is the master of everything, but still because of his attitude, he becomes a victim of all the things. He becomes the victims of all the situations. He is not able to handle and control and regulate the situations. Great Lord of all things, yet a prey to all, sole judge of truth, in endless error hurled, the glory, jest and riddle of the world. And he is supposed to be the judge of all the truths he says, but still at the same end, he is declared the liar. In endless error hurled, and even he keeps on doing a lot of mistakes, innumerable mistakes, uncountable mistakes, time to time, at every next step. So he says in the final line, very legendary line, the glory, jest and riddle of the world. Hey man, you are the biggest riddle, a mystery of the world. First, if you think that you have enough reasoning, you have enough intellectuality to search upon anything, so first you need to know yourself. You need to scan your existence. You need to realize your personality. So this was the message Alexander Pope tried to give. He dictates, he directs the human beings that don't raise questions on the existence of others like God. You, if you have power, if you have mind, if you have brain, whatever you need to do first, that you need to study yourself, you need to study your personality, you need to study your very existence. Only then, once you know yourself, only then you would be able to know about others. So know yourself, know the world. Thank you very much.